Okay, good glorious morning, afternoon, evening to everyone. I am Wonder, and today we are back with Clash of Will. I know it has been such a long time. I didn't put out any content because life happened, but I still play the game every now and then. And as you all know, the channel is still here. I never nuked it like some of you may have thought. Um, yeah, and it's Ang. And of all occasions, for me to make a content video, it has to be him. And actually, I'm quite happy that Ang kid turned out to be quite nice. And I feel like they did justice for the unit. And sorry, I wanted to put out the video content earlier, but with all the traveling during Chinese New Year and along the way, I kind of caught a flu. That's why I may sound a little bit nasal. But here we are. Today we are of course going for a full clear, and I do believe this boss is extremely easy. So I believe all of you, like not all but large majority of you already clear by now. So it's just me sharing how I'm gonna use my end unit. And for this video, we are going with a team compositions without a tank because hey, the boss doesn't do anything besides physical damage, which Melissa can just absorb 4 turns with her Dark Imbue and Absorb, and that's all we need to get a rank 1 on turn 5. That's what I'm gonna do. And for Aang here, as you can see, his gear for max damage, I know it's kind of a little bit overdone, but it's Aang. It's gotta be EX3 130 day 1. And of course, I love him so much. My whole channel, the banner is his fan art, and I literally voted for him for every single popularity contest. I'm so happy for him to finally get an envy treatment. And here, Kaito, our good friend. So for his non-damaging form, you would need somewhere about 30% for fire, water, wind, and light. So with Melissa buff, he will be immune to all the elemental damage from the boss. It will help with the morale fuel. And for this team composition, morale fuel is kind of important for the first 2 turns. And to help with that, that's why I put Wild card on Kaito. And in his Brave Shift form, of course, gear for damage. You don't have to follow exactly like what I do, just give your best, and then you will see later there's a lot of leeway in terms of damage for this team compositions. And for Melissa, standard fire, water, wind, and light resistant across the board. I give her a peppermint rod here is just to give her a little bit of morale fuel, and of course to give her her own card for again morale fuel again. Here is 2B in her base form is for damage. Brave Shift form is similarly for morale fuel and resistances. And Regis. The whole reason for Regis to be here is because he is one of the 2 so-called free units that can give you a focus plus ability. And I was not playing the game when Gladiolus was around and was given out, I think. So I didn't have him. I don't have him. So here we are with Regis. So for a focus plus unit, you can always use Gladiolus as a substitute. You can, of course, the more powerful version, but of course it's like can be costly, is for Noctis, because Noctis does damage, and yeah, it's technically a much better version. And here is Lara. Sorry, it's not Lara Ayabrea. Yeah, they kind of wear the same kind of guns and same, yeah, whatever. Yeah, similar gear in the base form. Brave Shift form is for damage. So technically, the whole idea about this team composition and the strategy is to fuel morale as fast as possible, and then use the focus ability to get all your gems filled up so you can be ready to burst by turn 5. It can be done. Later you will see in terms alternate choices. Regis is a focus plus unit, as I already explained. Um, for 2B and Ayaprea, you can always choose any other units that can have a focus ability. Better choices would include like Heo, who else? I'm so out of the loop these days. Yeah, whatever. There is, I think now they have a lot of units. I think from FF1 to 15, and then a bunch of other categories you can just choose from. Just choose 2 good DPS that can help you feel the morale quickly. Then you are good to go. So without further talking, let's dive right in. Okay. For the first turn, the most important thing you want to take note is Melissa has to be the last unit to do um, to do her actions, and Aang has to be the first. And his first action is to imbue the entire party with an water guard, and then use his 2 Magnus Impaling Arrow and Glancing Arrow here, mostly for the morale fuel. They do have very nice effect of Perfect Dispel and Perfect Dispel for the boss and Perfect Dispel for the party, but it really doesn't matter for this fight at all, because Melissa would just like laugh at it. And then 2B, similarly, she would just use Avoid, Supreme Support Weapon, and True Charge Spear for morale. Again, Tidebringer Kaito, because in this party we don't really have a good AoE amp. That's why like you don't have if you don't have a Guardian of the Underworld Child, so the best you can give in this party is actually Swelling Current. It gives you overall 45% water amp, and then just 2 Tranquil Flow for the morale fuel. Regis, he will use the item from I think it's a Celestine Diadem, Enlightened Tenacity, for actually wrong. Let me see. Correct. Oh no, I forgot. It doesn't matter. So you can just use this to give yourself 5 morale fuel. Ayaprea will use her barrier, Gene Heal, and haste again for morale. It's all about morale raise for the first 2 turns. Then now Melissa will be the last unit to do is All Consuming Darkness. So this is the OP skill. It's technically imbue the boss with dark for 3 turns and let your party absorb dark for 3 turns. And the boss only does physical damage, so what does that do to us? Nothing. Yeah. So, and then share immunity is just to give the whole party 70% all resistant buff, and chronic flow to get the morale fuel going. Yep, that is great. So as you can see, we absorb all the physical hits, and that's all the boss does. So yeah, it's pretty much a dumbed down kind of fight. Yeah. Alright, so for the second turn, 2B will continue to do triple cast of True Charge Spear for more morale fuel. And here, he will use Clear Sun for the 400% all stat buff and 300% LB buff. Rolling Mist is for the nice 70% AoE amp field, and then Sky Shooter is for AoE bird killers. And then Regis here, he kind of like has a free turn, so I think I forgot to put you can either like have a Source of Imperil here or like just Barrage, but whatever. So for this turn, he has a free turn. He will just attack the boss for some more morale. Then Tidebringer Kaito will shift and use Sun Glitter to put up the Imperil field for water and light 25%. If you are running a non-full EX3 party, by now you wouldn't have deadly stream and natural flux, so that is totally fine. You can just go with deep submersion and destabilizing form. So let's just pretend that I don't have enough morale fuel by now just to unlock these two skills. We can always use them later, so there's no worry about it. Alright, so we use these two skills. Aya Prayer here, which is triple cast heal 1 for more morale. And then Curse, and then Melissa, we use Minutes of Might. This one give us another morale fuel. And then just cast all the killers for more morales. So the reason why we are raising for morale by turn 2 is we want to get to 175% morale by the end of turn 2. So on turn 3, our units will have the focus ability. So as you can see now, the boss, we trigger the mania mode. So you see with my morale filling, I'm at 192. So if you run with a party that is not full EX3, you will be at 182 at the end of turn 2. So you have a lot of leeway because you only need 175. So now we're just waiting for the boss to finish its actions. Yeah, so on turn 3, 2B will start using focus. Regis here will use focus energy plus. Aya Prayer will use focus energy, so we have 3 focus energy. So by the start of turn 4, we will, yeah, as you can see here in the middle here, it's a very tiny 2 gems already filled. So by next turn, the 3rd gem will be filled and we will be ready to burst by turn 5. So now, and this turn, what he's gonna do is he will use Hunter of the Mystical to give us 250% Dragon and Fairy Killer. And then we give us Placid, he will use Placid's Concentration. This one we just use to fill the morale even further. And then we'll use Swift Arrow for even more morale fuel. So we just want to make sure by next turn we are at max morale. So Tidebringer Kaito this turn, by now you should already be above 150% morale, so you can unlock natural flux to give us a 90% spirit break and deadly stream, 90% defense break, and then I just use random deep submersions for more morale fuel. And Melissa this turn, she will use her SLB. The reason being is because we will burst by turn 5. But her second of minutes, where is that? Yeah, as you can see, second of minutes is only available on turn 6. So let's assume that if somehow your Melissa is only EX2, that means now it's not an SLB, that still works as well. As long as it's available by turn 5, you are good. So you will use the LB or SLB and target to herself to make sure seconds of support or something will be ready by turn 5. So this turn, we still have the imbue, so we are good. The boss won't do any damage to us. Yeah, they really take a very long time for the boss to give us all the vertex and focus abilities. I figure this is not by design originally, it's just a workaround just because of the community outrage on how limited the vertex and focus abilities were for the first one, so whatever. Okay, so for turn 4, first action you want to use 2B DSLB to give her the 85% modifier buff. And then Regis here, what he can do, he's triple cast Kings of Losers here to give AoE LB refuel for 2B, and we just throw in 2 casts of Boarding Strike to generate more crystal to hopefully fill 2B LB by turn 5. Aya Prayer here will shift triple cast P90 to generate more crystal and awaken mitochondria to give herself more LB mod buff. Similarly, Aang now, because you can see with this team composition and the focus ability, now we are at max 3 gems. So that is when Aang can use his Enduring Love 3, which gives us extra 30% water amp for the entire party. So this one actually stack with your normal amp. Meaning, for example, in this party, Kaito gives everyone 45% AoE amp. So with this one, it becomes 75, and this one stack on top of your few amp. Let's say here we have 70, so that means you are at 245. So for Aang here, he will use Poise Concentration for the nice 180% water amp. And finally, he will use Awaken Divinity. Similar skill like Ayabrea to give himself the LB modifier buff. Alright, and if you do notice, the boss here has all the mitigation. That is when we will use Crashing Wave just to clear off that mitigation buff. And here we just throw in whatever the skills here just to get rid of, just to generate more morale fume. Remember, Kaito has to do this before Melissa, because if Melissa you imbue the boss right now before Kaito, then Kaito, when he remove the buff, he also remove the imbue, so the boss will wreck you at the end of this turn. But now you are done, so Melissa should be the last to go. So for this turn, she will use Uncontrollable Darkness, which is a 1-turn imbue of dark imbue to the boss and to the whole party, and let us absorb dark. And we will do 2 casts of Bardock Jaw to refill 2B LB. Alright. So as you can see, because we use the Vertex ability, so now we enter the chance mode. So if you kill the boss right now, you will get the bonus points, and that will get you rank 1. Alright. So now we are turn 5, is the burst turn. But as you can see, 2B is not full, but we can always use 2 casts of Bardock Jaw. And because we use LB or SLB on turn 3, so now seconds of support is available, and in my party, Aang is the strongest unit, so I will target it to him. Yeah, and now we are ready to burst. So it's technically just, so this Claw of the Dragon is just an EN chain from Wilk event. You can also use on Esther events. There are other items. I think it's Duane's TMR. Yeah, STMR sword also give you that. So or you just can just ignore it. It's fine. To me, I just do it just to help with the chaining better. Alright, so the order of chaining is Regis, and Kaito will go first, then I will throw in 2B and finish up with Ayabrea and Aang. And as you will see the damage, we only need 15 billion to one-shot the boss for 100%, so let's see how much damage we do. And to 1.5 billion. As you can see, we overshot like 6.5 billion, so there is a lot of wiggle room for you. So yeah, that is rank 1 for you in 5 turns. And the damage breakdown: Aang 10 billion, Kaito 1.8, 2B 3.9, Ayabrea 6.2. Yeah, so that's it for today, and see you in the next video.